Welcome, everybody, to Pick and Roll. This is your daily NBA discussion and betting show where we talk about things about the NBA trending topics like today, the Chicago Bulls, and also, of course, we give you the NBA free picks brought to you by Pips NBA. Make sure you're following him on Twitter. You can catch this show live at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time on the Board NBA YouTube channel. If you're watching there, be sure to give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And also on the Board NBA Twitter account, follow us over there for the streams as well as any updates on the show. As we get into the holiday season, want to give you guys the schedule going forward. We will be going live normal time all throughout this week. Next week, it will be just Monday and Tuesday. We're going to take a little bit of a break after the Monday and Tuesday just to have a little bit of a holiday, but we're back in the new year to the normal schedule. But we have a full show for you guys today. Before we get into everything we wanted to discuss, of course, we have to recap the picks. Unfortunately, with the picks yesterday, they do go 1 and 2. We tracked them all on Betstamp as normal. Betstamp.app in your browser or the Betstamp app on your phone. Go to the Find Better section, and you find Pick and Roll up top in the media picks. And a really bad beat yesterday. One of them was a really bad beat. It's just something that you have to consider when going into the games. But we have a 40-28 record on the season, 9% ROI. And let's go with the Donovan Mitchell one first of all. That was the bad beat here. Donovan Mitchell has 23, with plenty of time to spare here for the over 28.5. He picks up a foul, I think it was, and then the Cavaliers just blow out the Jazz, and that ruined it. Is that what you saw with Mitchell, Pips?
Yeah, that was about it. He had 23 points in 22 minutes, and
Ridiculous.
he was on the way to score like 40 points in his regular minutes. And even if I mean, when he got the fourth foul, I expected him to sit and then to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And they were down only 19, and I expected him to start, but he didn't start. And yeah, when I saw he didn't start, I knew that he won't be coming back. And the Jazz defense was just terrible through the first three quarters. I mean, every single player on the Cavaliers shot 50+% from the field, and yeah, that's just inexcusable.
Yeah, so unfortunately on that one, we'll go to the other one that lost, the same game parlay. Franz Wagner covers his assist line, barely, but he does. And Banchero barely goes under the points. Unfortunately, finishes with 18 points. He was pretty much like an average game, just didn't quite get over the line. Banchero, I don't even think he played that poorly here. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, Markel Fultz was going off. He scored 24 points, a season high, 19 field goal attempts. And yeah, it was the Hawks defense just. I didn't expect DeJounte Murray to play, and he was back. And they just focused on stopping Banchero, which was a surprise for me. I never seen anyone create defensive scheme to stop a rookie. And yeah, Fultz was using it, and Banchero was okay with staying in the back seat and let other players cook. But it's interesting. He had first I think 13 minutes he scored 3 points. Then he scored 7 points in 3 minutes. Then he went 8 minutes without scoring, and then scored 6 points in 2 minutes. When he decided to score, he scores. But he was passive, and yeah, they're playing team ball. That's why they're winning. I mean, they lost by 1, but it was unlucky loss. They were up by 1 with 5 minutes left, and yeah.
Orlando looked good. I mean, it's only a small stretch here. They've won 6 of their last 7. That would have been 7 in a row if they won that game. They've been playing really good basketball lately, so full credit to them.
To them trying hard, and they're actually losing the games and have the biggest problem without Wendell Carter because their rim protection is terrible. And when he replaced the ball in starting 5 with Markel Fultz playing amazing and running the offense, and they could actually be a very good team.
So interesting
probably better than Chicago Bulls.
And Chicago is a team we will be talking about very shortly here. Let's go to the last pick very quickly. CJ McCollum does get back a bit of the coin on this one. He goes well over the 18.5 points. No sweat bet over there. CJ just kind of played as you would expect it here. The Bucks narrowly beat the Pelicans here, But CJ has a really good game.
Yeah, the when I saw the first possession from the game, I knew CJ will hit because yeah, they were defending Zion with Drew Holiday. That was amazing move. So Drew Holiday on Zion,
Hmm.
and Giannis like half meter away, and Brook Lopez half meter away. Like Drew Holiday knew Brook Lopez are rim protection, and Giannis double teaming you. Like that was like they locked down him. Like I don't know how he was able to score 18 points. That was a huge surprise. Like when I saw first position, I didn't think like Zion will score even 15 points. And with that kind of defense, we saw like Jonas almost like were going crazy, scored 7 threes, and yeah, and that opens up the game for CJ. And CJ had plenty of good looks, and I just knew he'll score.
So big win there. Again, 40 and 28 record on the season. Unfortunate start to the week on the Monday, but we're hoping to get it back today with 3 more official picks coming away your way a little bit later. But the discussion topic for today, this is something that Pips wanted to bring up. It kind of spurred from this tweet. The Bulls haven't played since Monday, but on that Monday game, they gave up 150 points to the Timberwolves. That is the most regulation points they've given up in 40 years. It's almost set a record for the amount of points given up. And like, yeah, that is regulation points. Chicago cannot defend. Their offense hasn't been as good as you would want it to be this season. Yes, Lonzo Ball is still out injured. I have no idea what is going on over there. But the Bulls this season, I think going into the season, a lot of people felt like they were going to be sort of on the outside looking in as far as the playoff picture went. But they're 11 and 18, and they lost a lot of their assets to bring in a guy like Nikola Vucevic. What is the next step for the Bulls, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I'll just go for a rebuild. Like this, you went all in and you can't even make a playoffs. Like you gave Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter, who will probably be the second and third best player, or third and fourth best player on this team. And just imagine that these two guys instead of Nikola Vucic, they could actually be a good team. And yeah, I think the value on Lavine and DeMar DeRozan is not on Lavine, but on DeMar DeRozan is like very high. Like he's playing amazing last this season, so they could probably get something great for him. I don't know if they stick with Lavine, but because he's still relatively young, but with him struggling to like he's not playing great basketball this season. He's struggling with coming back from the injury, and yeah, and Vucevic is terrible. The last
Yeah.
season and this season both like you can't get anything from him. He can defend, he can shoot, he can roll to the rim. Like he's just a pop option that can shoot. Like that's yeah. And being 11 and 18 with three superstars, like three all-star players on the team, and bunch of like good role players like Patrick Williams and Goran Dragic and Alex Caruso. Yeah, they have actually good role players, all starting players, and they are 11 and 18. And I think it's time for them to just go for a rebuild. And also, I don't like Billy Donovan. Like I actually not a fan of him and his playing style, offense or defense. He never learned from his mistakes, and he's just a stubborn coach. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan, and I think they need to change the coach and go to the rebuild.
Yeah, the Vucevic trade kind of handcuffed them because they gave up too many assets for a player that isn't really helping them win. They gave picks and they gave a player like Wendell Carter, who we said is probably better than Vucevic, and they traded Wendell
For
Carter
sure.
along with all these other things to get Vucevic. The good thing about Chicago, they have players they can trade to rebuild. So it's not like they can't move any of their current players to get the draft assets back. They have a good amount of their draft capital, but Zach LaVine is a good contract they can move on from, get a bunch of picks. Like that's a type of pick, a type of player you can get 3 first for, at least 2 first round picks. DeRozan's a player you could consider moving. I don't think you'll get the same sort of value here, but there is a path to rebuilding here for Chicago. It might be tough to face after being mediocre for so long. And then, you had that good start to the last season before falling off in the second half of the season. It might be tough to swallow, but the business done by this franchise is pointing in the direction of one that just should completely retool the organization here. Not a lot to build around going forward. Again, tough situation, but they're going to have to do some work in the draft and get some of those picks back. But with that, we're going to transition now into the Thrive Fantasy segment on the show. Thrive Fantasy is a daily esports app for a daily player prop and esports app. Make sure you go check out Thrive Fantasy and get involved with some of their great contests. You go to the contest lobby, you can see the $20 NBA Tuesday over here. Enter the contest, go to the list of, oh, it's making me sign in. 1 second. What you can do, though, you can go to the list of the player props available, find the 10 players that you want to play on. Sorry, let's pull it up here now. You can go to the contest lobby. You can see the 20 players available. They are all assigned a player prop. You can pick on the over or the under for that specific player prop, and each of those are assigned a specific value based on how likely they are to occur. And with those points, you can get yourself in line for part of the $2,500 in prizes available today. First place receives $750, but all the way down to 33rd place, you can be in line for part of that prize just by putting your player prop skills to the test. Don't just stop there with the NBA. Thrive Fantasy has over $200,000 in prizes available weekly. And right now, you can sign up with Code HAMMER for an instant $250 bonus on your first deposit. So no better time to get started over there. And with Thrive Fantasy, we like to have Pips give you some good looks on the board to help you make your selections for the contest. What do you have for us today?
So for today, I have two picks, and the first one is Jordan Clarkson over 20.5 points. A good spot against Detroit Pistons, who just gave like 80 points to the Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And yeah, with in the last game they played, I think he scored 24, and when he gets 30 plus minutes, he's clearing this line at a high rate. And the second one is Draymond Green over 10.5 rebounds and assists. With so many players out, like he will need to be more on the ball and creating. Like he's probably Draymond Green and playing dribble handoff and creating for Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole tonight. And rebounds against the Knicks is always a good spot. So I love this spot for Draymond.
So those are two of the picks. All you need to do is make 8 more on that. You need $20 to enter this contest for part of that $2,500 grand prize. Sign up with Code HAMMER and get started with Thrive Fantasy today. Let's move now into the official pick segment of our show, Pick and Roll, for today. 3 official picks coming away, looking to bounce back from yesterday's 1-2 start. But we're going back to Jaren Jackson Jr. on the first pick. Here's what we have.
So Jaren Jackson Jr. over 50.5 points, which is minus 110 at DraftKings. Yeah, I love this spot for Jaren. I think this line is way too low. When he gets the minutes, he's clearing this line. Like if you take a look at his season average, like he has 17-point season average, and we have 2 games, like the one against the Bucks where he played only 12 minutes, and we have a game when he was on minutes restriction to start the season, and in the games when he gets the minutes, he's usually scoring 20 plus points. And Denver defense is like way below average. They are, I think, fifth worst defensive rating in the league. And with much focus on stopping Ja Morant, and Jokic will probably need to hedge pick and rolls, which will like open up a ton of space behind. And yeah, I think Jaren Jackson probably Denver is like third worst rim protection in the league, and they foul a lot. And Jaren Jackson is just too long, and he'll get to the line, make some threes, and yeah, this line is too low for his minutes and usage tonight.
So possibly one that we could see move throughout the day. So keep that in mind. That is our first pick. Let's now move into this second pick. You like Draymond Green for part of that Thrive Fantasy contest, and you are liking him also for one of the plays on a same-game parlay paired with Jordan Poole for today. Here is the second official selection.
So the second pick is Draymond Green over 4.5 assists, and Jordan Poole over 23.5 points, which is one minus 110 at DraftKings. As I already said earlier, they need to run a lot of offense through Draymond Green with all these players out. And if you take a look at Jordan Poole scoring without Steph Curry, 43 against Toronto Raptors, your Toronto Raptors,
Yes. Yes.
29 against the Philadelphia 76ers, 36 against Utah Jazz, and 26 against New Orleans Pelicans. So 26, 36, 29, and 43 in the last 4 games without Steph Curry. And we have Dante DiVincenzo out, we have Andrew Wiggins out. And I will say that Knicks have the I think they are allowing the most points to the point guards. I mean, out of their positions, not in the league, like, but of all positions, they allow the most points to point guards and the players with the ball. And playing with Raymond Green, I think this is a great spot for him. And the second part of this is Raymond Green had 5 assists in the last game, but he had 16 potential assists. And the second man with second highest potential assist was Dante DiVincenzo with 13, and he is out. So it's even more on Draymond Green to create. And I just think with the way New York Knicks defense works, I think he can cover this line pretty easily. I mean, New York Knicks are playing actually above average defense in the last couple of games, but their transition defense is still terrible. And yeah,
So with Steph Curry out, all these players injured, as you mentioned, this can kind of elevate the statistics of specific players. But the Golden State Warriors, no matter who's out, they like to play the same way. Poole, especially against the Raptors, kind of adopted that Steph Curry sort of role for the team. And Draymond Green is such a highly intelligent player. So good spot on the same game parlay here. Another same game parlay coming your way for the third pick. This involves the Pistons, who are hosting the Utah Jazz.
yeah, this one is Jaden Ivy over 11.5 points combined with Durant over 8.5 rebounds, which is minus 125 to DraftKings. So this one is like because I've seen Utah Jazz defense and Ivy's drive heavy guard and every like Garland and Mitchell and everyone was going to the rim with ease and having wide open layups. And Jaden Ivy is like one of the yeah. And as I spoke earlier, the guys who have the ball handling primarily on the teams have the best scoring games against the Utah Jazz. So with that said, I'm going to the lower lines because his minutes are uncertain, but I expect him to play like 27 to 30 minutes tonight. And if he gets those minutes against this kind of defense of Utah Jazz, he should be able to cover this line pretty easily. And the second part of this is Duran, like he's
He's been a
starting.
monster recently.
Yeah, and he cleared this line in 6 straight games, and the lowest rebounding game in that stretch was the 11 rebounds. So he gets this line pretty easily. And Utah Jazz is terrible at rebounding. They allow the fifth most rebounds to opposing centers, to opposing fives, and they also allow a ton of offensive. I think they are second most offensive rebounds, and John Duran is probably the best offensive rebounder in the league, which is unbelievable for a rookie. And he has the highest contested rebounds rate in the entire league. So it's not that he's getting easy rebounds; he's battling hard, and he has amazing timing and feel for the rebound. And I love him in this spot.
So three really good selections here. I really do like the way that you kind of gone about these picks here. Looking to get some winners on tonight's slate. Let's recap all three picks for you guys that we have for the what day is it? The Tuesday slate. Grizzlies at the Nuggets, first of all. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 15.5 points. That is minus 110 at DraftKings. Second official play is a same game parlay. Golden State at the New York Knicks. Draymond Green over 4.5 assists paired with Jordan Poole over 23.5 points. That is minus 110 also at DraftKings. And the third one, as we just mentioned, the Pistons hosting the Jazz. We have Ivy over 11.5 points and Duran over 8.5 rebounds. That is minus 125 at DraftKings. Thanks so much, guys, again, for tuning into Pick and Roll today. Reminder, we are going live every single weekday, 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time all throughout the week. Every single weekday we go live. Next week, there will be a difference of schedule for the holiday season. We're going live normal time Monday and Tuesday. That is the 26th and 27th of December. The rest of the week until the new year, we are going to take a little bit of time off to enjoy the holiday period. But make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to stay up to date with all the live streams over here. Follow on Twitter at The Board NBA for all updates on the show, and you can watch live there as well. If you ever can't catch the show live, you can rewatch it anytime on YouTube and Twitter, or catch it in podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. Simply search Pick and Roll. I'm sure it will pop up for you. If you have trouble finding it, let us know in the DMs on the Board NBA Twitter account. We'll be sure to set you straight over there. Let's hope to get some winners tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at 11:15 for more NBA discussion and betting.